Hi, it's Iyada, Vedic astrologer. Vedic astrology is a science, the science of light, of the light, of the consciousness, not only the stars, but all is made of. We are embodied consciousness in different states of contraction or unfoldment, aligning with nature, the five elements, with natural rhythm of day and night, the seasons, and the cycles of the moon, creates harmony between the seemingly outer macrocosmos and the inner microcosmos, which are not separated at all. It is all one consciousness expressing itself in a myriad of ways. Our state of consciousness and our mindset are deeply influenced by the waxing and waning moon, who visits every night another lunar mansion or constellation of stars that vibrates in a certain frequency to teach us something, to help us to evolve the consciousness that we embody. And we resonate with these frequencies unconsciously, or if we are aware of it, consciously. This is the reason why I do these moon forecasts, so we can experience the frequency of the new and full moons with awareness and expand our vibration. And we are heading towards an intense full moon on Sunday, February 5th at 7:30 p.m. here in Central Europe in the sensitive and vulnerable water sign of sidereal Cancer. In these days before the full moon, the energy builds up and we can observe how our emotions get more intense and probably change a lot. There might be emotions we like more and others that we don't want to feel, like jealousy, resentment, or loneliness. But this giving preference to certain feelings and rejecting others does us no good at all, because the emotions that we don't feel cannot be processed and integrated, and they will still vibrate in our energy field and attract more of the same. Therefore, it is a good exercise, especially with this upcoming full moon, to breathe into our chest and with the in-breath touch the subtle space behind the sternum and focus our intention on this seemingly empty space, where we can watch with our eyes closed sensations and feelings arise and dissolve without judgment nor expectations. We allow this purging of emotions, of energy in motion, a purging that is necessary and possible thanks to our awareness focused on this heart space, Hridaya Kasha in Sanskrit, where the deep inner knowing of the heart is hidden, and where a profound sense of peace lays behind every emotion that rises and dissolves. Here in the heart is the seat of the self, where we can feel our soul suffer and rejoice, and where we establish contact with our essence and with the experience of bliss. We can place our hands over this heart space and connect with feeling safe, at home, whole, complete, in harmony and sync with all that is. And at the same time, there is a feeling of freedom, of space, of boundless being, of timelessness and eternity. Here we have access to love that was and is always, without reason, without condition, and we can bathe in this everlasting love that is our very essence. It is not an emotion, not a feeling, but a state of consciousness. Love and light are one and the same. We can swim in these healing waters of Hridayakasha and flow with the river of love that is life. Water is a symbol of life, of movement, and as element it is ruled by Venus in the second chakra. But the moon is the source of the water element, as well as the sun is the source of the fire. It is Mars who governs, controls and distributes the fire element. The moon who rules the water sign of Cancer, where this full moon takes place, is Manas, our mind, the state of our mind, which is sattvic in nature, but normally tainted by tamasic and rajasic influences. Water is the ocean where all our patterns, vasanas, samskaras and karmas swim around. Water is the element of our desires, our feelings, our energy in motion, and that gives us access to the uninhibited life force that expresses itself through every one of us. This life force is also known as snake or kundalini energy, which in human beings lays coiled at the base of the spine in the first chakra and is active only in a state of slumber until it awakens to its full potential. And when energy rises and vibrates in higher frequencies, consciousness expands. The full moon happens in a part of the sky known as Ashlesha, the stars of the Divine Serpent, which are the stars that form the head of the constellation of Hydra, the Water Serpent. Ashlesha is a deeply transformative and very introspective lunar mansion. Its name in Sanskrit means to embrace the serpent's bite, which is poisonous and a homeopathic remedy at the same time. The frequency of Ashlesha, like a snake charmer, has the ability to hypnotize and bring about altered states of consciousness. We may be able to touch our greatest pain, our biggest fear, our deepest attachment, our most significant resistance, and transform it, heal it with the power of love, acceptance, and deep wisdom. let us not forget that we may be afraid of the darkness within, but sometimes our greatest fear is our own light in the midst of a world of people who cannot see it nor their own. It is important that we give ourselves in these days around the full moon to contemplation, meditation, and directing our awareness to the heart space. The presiding deity of Ashlesha are the Nagas, the Divine Serpents. They help us to connect with deeper layers of ourself, of our psyche, and to reconnect with the divine. Their bodies are always close to earth. They are sensitive, intuitive, and derive their wisdom from Mother Nature, from the Devi herself. The Devi, who stands for energy, for love and light in motion, whilst her male counterpart represents pure, boundless consciousness in a motionless state. Snakes symbolize the power of vibration, of energy in their serpentine motion, and the cyclic nature of life as well. Shedding their skin, they are a symbol of transformation, and eating their own tail, they represent the endless cycle of life, death, and rebirth, the transmigration of the eternal soul into another temporal body. There is no evolution of soul and consciousness without experience, no experience without life, and no life without death. Death, loss, pain, and grief are part of the human existence. They hurt, they move our heart. We cannot exclude them, we cannot protect ourselves against these less comfortable experiences, because if we try, we will disconnect from our heart, our soul, and our very essence. And this is what humanity did out of fear, out of the desire for control, for power, out of a contracted state of consciousness. This full moon in Ashlesha calls us to wake up to the full range of what we feel and to who we are, and hold the powerful creative tension between the eternal and the temporary parts of our being, the one that is in motion, experiencing, feeling, and the motionless one that is eternal and witnessing, and savor all experiences in their depth, because it is our depth of being. There is no world outside, it is all within, and we can choose between a shallow, dull existence or a rich life with a deep feeling nature. Planet Mercury is the ruler of Ashlesha and of this full moon, and from sideral Sagittarius, where he is placed in the lunar mansion of Uttara Ashada, he calls us to choose. If we choose the fullness of being, we must embrace the fullness of life, of feeling, of deep experiencing, no matter what, without labeling, without holding back, but open ourselves, open our heart, and live from this vulnerable, expanding, transformative, and increasingly cultured heart space, Daya Kasha. Enjoy this beautiful full moon.